Hi, welcome back to RealmTale, and from that intro, you could tell I've been a busy bee. If we look at this section here, I'm just going to go out to the crossroads, which are not only new, where there's hidden torches as well. All underneath this carpet are hidden torches. I have 10 custom trees here. This one was made by Funi, and the other 10 were made by me, or the other 9. There's 10 in I didn't make this custom tree. Okay, this custom tree right here, this wasn't made. This is just a bone meal tree, but these 9 I've made. This is the one Funi made. You can kind of tell the difference. I could change all of these to match Funi's custom tree, but I'm probably just going to change Funi's tree here to match all the ones I make, because I know how to make these. Don't really know how to make it like that. So I'm going to match all of the Funi's tree to the other ones here. But Funi just made one there, and I was able to kind of get the concept. What else have I done in this section? Ton of grass down here. Again, like I said, I'm following the custom kind of like special fancy grass that like the rich billionaires have, you know, all the way down here. Hiding the carpet. Underneath all of these is torches. Somewhere under here, there's going to be a torch section. I just got to find it there, right there, with netherrack. So if we look around here, every single time there's a torch, I place netherrack. Now, the reason for that is to hide the particles. I also don't know how I have that. I think it was like that. To hide all the particles, the torch has to be completely on the block straight up. I had the particles turned off just to reduce lag for the video, but most people play with particles on for torches. So to hide all of the torches, I placed everything on netherrack blocks underneath here, and it's a grind. Netherrack blocks have been my scaffolding block all the way around here through this entire section, which, by the way, I've done this entire section. If we look, all of custom bushes, a little bit of cyan terracotta propping it up to then add in the whole grass section, which as of right now is just plain grass. But there will be a building here. That's going to be my main goal, is to build up a building for the creeper farm here as well. Now, as you can see, I've kind of done this crossroads section right here and all of this. Now, I've repeated this on every single side. It's on this side as well. I've just kind of not placed in the trees because each one takes me like 5 minutes. I'm a very slow tree builder. On the opposite side as well, I've done the same thing. Again, placing all of the carpets and everything, all the trees. Around here on this side, I haven't done it at all, so I'm probably going to do that as well in today's episode. I've just been doing a lot of work off camera in between episodes here, and wanted to kind of show you my midway process. I assume I'm about halfway, a little bit more than halfway, so I'm going to have to do all of that things, fill in the creeper farm as well. So that's probably going to be the plans for today's episode. Let's start by at least completing all of the sides around here. It's been a couple of hours, and I'm back. And before I begin, I just want to preface, I am not done. No, I didn't get close. I got this section started up. I did this entire back section. So all of this has been, you know, torch covered with carpets. All of the bushes out are on the outer banks here. And then way down here, I've yet to do the crossroads here. But I've done all the trees on this side, which, again, the trees take the longest bit. Not to mention, I had to re-get all of my leaves. I had to get some more leaves. On this side, I also haven't gotten the leaves in. It's a slow process. I also haven't done the torches on this side. But I'm slowly getting on here. I'll probably resume this tomorrow. This is pretty late currently, so that's as much time as I have for today. I'll resume this tomorrow morning. It's another brand new day, and I've spent a lot of time of today just building up all of the areas. And I got this dog. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the dog aside, I still need a name for that guy. If you want, comment something. You'll probably be the only one to comment it, so I'll probably name it. Anyways, I've done all the sections. Every section is done. All of them have the trees, this random bit in here, which will come to play later. I'm setting it up now. They all have trees, all have bushes, all have plants all the way around. There's hidden lights underneath all the carpets. Again, every area has trees. There's 10 trees in total, 40 trees in the long run. It's taken me ages, guys. You don't know how draining this is. Placing trees, I'm sure if we looked on the trees, there's going to be patterns that emerge. They all probably look the same, to be honest. Like, let's see. Look at that. You can see, here, this is a great example. Look at this pattern. A little like that. It repeats here. It repeats here, but it's backwards. I try to make each one unique, but now that I've pointed it out, you'll probably notice each tree is exactly the same. This is what happens when you work on something for hours. But that aside, we finally finished the trees. Everything is done. All the pathways, at least 5 trees in. Eventually, they'll conjoin in the middle, but I'm still going to work on that later. Plus, I'm kind of running out of materials. But that aside, I want to start building this. I have a good idea for it. Plus, we need to make some pathways up to it. So let's start with at least the pathways. So some progress has been made here. As you can see, we've built what appears to be just some netherrack, but this is probably going to be where the paths are. It's going to start down here. It's going to be relatively flat. It's going to get to here and then do a bit of like a staircase upwards, then meet up with this, level out, and go straight towards the building. As you can see, I had the original box there. So the pathway will either the pathway will curve towards the main doors of this, or we'll just build this all like the main building just around this. Like, this doesn't necessarily need to be in the middle of the building. Ooh, that is where I am so torn right now. You can tell by just what I'm saying, whether to turn the path or just like move the building over. Not move the mob farm. The building would just be a little bit wider. I've still not set on what I want to build for the mob farm just yet. I have a general idea, but either this will be moving to adjust with this, or the path will be moving. I need the path to be here because it needs to be cornered off right where this section is, and then right where this section is. Obviously there's no tree there yet, but it needs to cut off right there, and then obviously this beautiful custom tree in the middle right here is going to be unfortunately destroyed. But I mean, it looked good for the time being, so that's probably going to be the plan. I'm going to at least start with the pathway here and set this up. So once again, I'm flying back into the area, and as you can see, I think I've done pretty good here. I'm on the other side. I have done pretty good here. So what I've done is as follows. I just put some sugarcane in. This will hopefully grow, I think, to about here. I'll probably add some more just so it's like here, maybe even higher. I think we'll add a nice little bit of foliage to this kind of gray wall here. And I've kind of made it go up here on the paths here. And this is obviously the sidewalk that will continue upwards all the way into the building here. And I think I'll probably curve the path. I think that's what I decided with. When this is all terraformed, it's not just going to be flat grass up here. There's going to be little bits of like small hills going up like 2 or 3 blocks up here. I'll do a ton of custom terraining as well up here, so it's going to probably look a little bit more natural as well if the pathway curves a little bit, which is probably what I'm going to do here. I got to add some more trees as well. One thing you notice, I kind of put this block up a little bit because it matches better. I don't know. I'm debating whether to keep this because it does look kind of weird that it's not in line with the other spots, but it's kind of different because it's near a pathway up. I don't know. I'm just experimenting with things. Once again, I don't really have a plan for builds this season. Similar to last season, I'm just building with the flow. But I think the pathway came out pretty good, and this is probably what I'm going to stick with for future buildings that will be on the main areas, and we need pathways off these paths onwards. This is probably what I'll do. Something similar to this design, where it's 2 paths or just 1 in the middle, and I'll come up with something else. But most of the time, it'll probably be 2. So with this out of the way, I'm going to start working on the building. Look at it. It's hideous. Yeah, it's so bad. Anyways, that is not hideous. This is basically the completed building. Not the completed building. This part is clearly not done. This is just the base. From here, I'll just be repeating a pattern. Also, Funi joined. Hello. From here, I'll just be repeating a pattern upwards. Now, some things I want to point out. I went to the 3D cam just to kind of show you guys. I've carpeted a lot of the area to prevent mob spawns. Obviously, when I build this up, I'm going to have to put carpets where I put basically all my torches to prevent mob spawns. Again, this part right here is going to be cut off by the wall here, but this whole platform is just made to keep it dark. And it will be dark because the windows I'm not using glass, I'm using packed ice, which is something I'll probably use on all the buildings. There's a reason for this. You can't see through this, which means you won't see the ugly farms on the inside, because I'm going to build more skyscrapers that have farms inside of them. And if I'm using glass, you will see the farms, which is something I don't want. This kind of prevents it. We're blocking any light from shining through, blocking any viewing from seeing through into the ugly farm. So that's probably something I'm going to use for all my farms. So I'm basically done right now. I'm just going to repeat a section upwards and then round it off at the top with a roof. And then I'll have to come back in and just carpet everything to prevent mob spawns, which will be a very busy task for this man, but he's ready to do it. So I'll be back in a little bit when the top section is finished. So it's been a little bit. I got an emojo. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And I finished the whole building. It's done. Look at this thing. I am so proud on how this turned out. If we fly up here, the AFK platform is so accessible. We even have a helipad up here. I hope to put a helicopter actually up here. I think that would be really, really cool in the future. If you notice as well, the amount of carpets placed is amazing. It's outstanding. I bet I could check my stats after this, and I have a lot of carpets placed. As much of this is mob proofed on the outside as possible. There's carpets placed wherever I can. I did designs such as this as much as possible to avoid 2 block tall heights, the only spots being there. On the inside, not so much. It looks kind of garbage in here. It's not spawn proofed. I need to come back in here with some wool and spawn proof it up. Again, I have to use wool, not torches, because torches will affect the rates of the mob farm, which is currently turned off. But look at this. Creeper spawning up here. Oh, it's going to be a nightmare to mob proof the inside of this. But afterwards, we're pretty much set. And this is the only farm that the only building I'll have to do, which I can't just place torches on the inside. I actually have to properly mob proof. And then again, it just kind of fades upwards. I still have to kind of finish the bottom as well. I kind of want to put some more bushes around here, terraform the area, just make it look a little bit more natural than just placed on grass. I also have to do the interior. I also want to make a proper storage for this because at the moment it's pretty ugly. And then I also have to make a more accessible way to get to this. I might even do something up here on the helipad. I think that'd be really cool, like a lever that goes all the way down to this to turn it on and off. So that's probably what I'm going to roll with. But for now, I'm really proud with how this turned out. So let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. I probably also will put some sort of like banner on here that says like Creeper Co. or Creeper Inc. or something to represent that it's a creeper farm, because I'm not a huge fan of this window design. I might change it on the other sides as well. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. Alright, so I've actually spent some time here just putting in some carpets, which you can see right here. I used mostly white carpets. That's not only made it a lot easier for me to place it because I knew where I've been, but it completely destroys any chance of the mobs spawning. I've flown around a little bit using the free cam, and I don't see any mobs spawning anywhere, which is really good. So that means I did a decent job. If any start spawning, I can just, add some more carpets and prevent them. But that is basically this building completely done. The only thing left to do now is the interior. So crack on with that very soon. Another day has passed. This video is taking a while, guys. Another day has passed, and I've littered netherrack here. But as you can see, look at this interior. I love this. It kind of reminds me of like a really bougie hotel. I don't know if that gives that vibe off, but I tried to make everything look as round as physically possible. Slabs galore, even like glass panes everywhere. And this just stores all my gunpowder from the farm up here, which is still running. As you can see, creepers are spawning in here. Everything's been spawn proofed. I really had to get desperate with some of the carpet I used, but we got it all done in the end, and everything has been spawn proofed. So that is one of the major things that I wanted to get taken care of at this building done. And the reason there was netherrack on the ground was I just finished up making this beautiful logo. This is the logo that I'm going to use for this farm. Now this is kind of like to make it look like it's a company type thing, like it's a big like enterprise, and it has its logo. It's CGF, which stands for the Creeper Gunpowder Farm. I don't know a better name for that. I was going to name it the Gunpowder Creeper Farm, but then that's like GCF, which is a math term for greatest common factor. Only I would know that, but of course it just bothered me, so CGF is what we're going for, which I feel like isn't an acronym for something else, but I'm not sure what that acronym is. It just sounds maybe like CGI. I might be thinking of that, but CGF is what we're going to rock with. And we even have a creeper face here, which I think looks really good from a distance. I did put some end rods here as well, just to kind of underline it, to add light, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that there, because when it's nighttime, the whole building is basically pitch black. There's no lighting on it, and this is the only lighting, and I might get rid of that because it's kind of obvious and kind of points it out. It's like your eyes are drawn through it instead of the whole height of the building, which is kind of what I wanted to focus on. But in the end, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. This building was a grind and a half to make, so yeah, feedback would be nice. Alright, so I'm now standing on top of the beautiful building I've constructed in today's episode, the Gunpowder Creeper Farm, or the Creeper Gunpowder Farm, which is, I guess, more likely what I have there on the side of the building. And I'm going to end the episode here. A lot of progress was done in today's episode. Not all of it was shown on camera. I did a lot of progress updates and kind of cuts just to kind of show you what I've all done. I also did a lot of work in between episodes. I'm going to try to avoid that in the future. A lot of things went on in the process of making this building. It was mostly me doing a section, then realizing I'm out of materials, so I had to gather more materials, but I didn't feel like sharing that on camera, so I would just do a cut to when I've added more stuff. I'm going to try to avoid doing that in the next episodes, guys, but that is the episode nonetheless. If you guys liked it, make sure to leave a like, and if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. It helps me out a ton here on the channel. Thank you again very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. That's not on my face. Stay tuned for more, guys. Yeah.